the very possibility of it, the very design of a range of possibilities in its very moment, the very design of a range of possibilities. How do you get to be responsible in such a place? Like to be honoring all the corpses under your feet, to honor the voice of all the corpses under your feet, and all of their distorted directions. To honor them is to develop a discipline of clarity, to fucking exert such a possibility, to exert like the boiling of possibility into such a direction. If you want to step onto the ground where friendship is possible, if you want to step onto the ground where friendship is possible, then you need to understand the bodies of the true nature, the true bodies of these friends you speak of. You want to speak of so step into it. Just step through this storm of arrows. Remember, when I can speak of wings, there is a whole army aligned in the back of that metaphor. When I can speak of it responsibly, there is a whole aligned army of ferocious grounds. What do you mean? When you can step into certainty, when you can step into the taste of certainty, what is that? When you can taste the grounds of such words like the will of the world, when you are intoxicated by the friendship that made such words possible. When you remember the specific chemistry of tears, this is not a fucking joke. This is not like some tumor of creative desire. This is not some creative fucking tumor. And you can like step through the graves, these distorted memories, when you can have like a hand clarified like a spear that can align vertebrae, just like eyes aligned into transparent consensus. Like a new species of consensus. There is a historical training, like the historical kindergarten of science that is preparing the possibility of aligned spirits, like aligned minds. Possibility to meet one another, like science, the whole historical animal of the possibility of science is just a kindergarten for friendship, for like the true friendship of aligned, clarified, perfected fucking unified minds. That is where the true play begins. So, what means to step into that direction? To understand that if you have the very simple drive, tendency, memory, you just have the possibility to say phenomenological reduction. Right here, right now. To remember this, to just choose a certain word and to see the whole mechanics of experiential grounds that one has in order to choose a single word, to observe the very nature of freedom, to observe what is it in the nature of behavior, in the nature of mind that allows for degrees of freedom, and what is the actual vast nature of any degree of freedom that you can touch, act in. And what is it to honor it? If you claim that you want to step in this friendship, for you to say such words as will of the world, for you to frame your body into a certain type of determination, have some perspective on the corpses you stand on to say such a word. Have some perspective on the oceans of blood making possible this body of will. It's okay. You can stand in this deafening silence of the shock of how truth sounds like. Just the brutality of its scale. Just the brutality of its scale. If you want to step into celebration, if you want to step into true ecstatic capacity, if you want to stand in dignity before your child, if you want to taste any possibility of coherent presence, if you want to taste any slight breeze of integrity, any slight possibility of integrity, to dare to reduce yourself to symbol, to reduce yourself to nothing, to reduce yourself to pure direction, to reduce yourself to the nature of a symbol, the way a symbol can point, the way a symbol can point. Come on. There is some kind of come on. Stand there in the flesh of the ordinary. Stand in withstanding the confused corpse of the ordinary. Listen to its voice. There is a certain animal that I can touch. There is an animal of purpose that I can feel. There is a kind of animal of purpose that I can feel moving around me. That is like this, a sort of architecture of dialogue between. What the fuck are you doing? A sort of dialogue that goes like this. Your actions stand on a certain ground. My child will stand in front of me and say something like, your actions stand on a ground. Show me the fruits of that ground. Show me the fruits of that field. Your actions are seeded onto unusual ground. Your steps are seeded onto unusual ground. Show me the fruits of that ground. Show me the fruits of that ground. Show me the fucking fruits of that ground. Your pain shall question the grammar of my name. Your pain shall question the grammar of my name.
I can remember the shape of your voice in the morning telling me about the paths kept together, kept open, the paths of the various houses, the paths to the various houses of blessing, the paths to the shapes of blessings of each. Each one has their face. The morning is calling. The wind, the breeze, the fresh breeze of a new beginning. You were standing on the threshold with the contour of the promise of a body. You were standing there on the threshold with the promise of the contour of union. You were standing there on the threshold with the promise of an ink that could bring us together. You stood there on the threshold. With a clear sentence, this voice had the resonance of an unforgettable sentence that was, "No place shall be forgot. No place of desire shall be forgot." No place of desire shall be forsaken, destroyed. Where you stand with your true friends, the sacred ground. The sacred ground where you stand with your friends. The sacred ground that shall never be destroyed. The place of a vow, the union of a vow. A truly beautiful place. A place of beauty. A place of achieved beauty. The truly beautiful place. With your friends, thus, in the celebration of this it was like the moment of an exhibition, where the flesh of the intimacy of all of your lines in solitude, all of the lines of tamed landscapes of solitude shall be tasted, drank, tasted by all. All shall be seen, all the whispers of solitude. Revealed. There was a revelation in this thick silence, this thick attention that we gifted one another. And there was revelation in the vast skies.
So what is this ferocious voice that kind of guided us into the center of this ground to point to
With all the eyes hidden there.
center, to point
All
to
the
the
eyes
center,
hidden in the
Point.
skies.
to the center.
All the beings of space. All the beings of space, carefully seeding the ground. All these beings of space, carefully seeding the seeds of joy. All these beings of space, their minds pure, roaming the skies, seeding the seeds of clarified joy. Finally,
My child will ask you, where are you? It is so terrifying and so astonishing, so ecstatic simultaneously. It's so terrifying and so ecstatic simultaneously that your child will ask you, where are you? And it's so overwhelming, the fact that it is all happening in full transparency, that there is nowhere to hide. Like where are you? Where can you place yourself? Where can you stand? In this domain of transparency, you will be asked thus, where can you stand? Where do you stand? Where can you stand? Where are you? Can you answer this question? Like, can you answer this question? Where do you stand? Can you answer such a question, such devastating question? Where are you? Where have you sentenced yourself to be? Where have you sentenced yourself? Where have you placed yourself? Where are you placing yourself? There is some kind of boiling, electric, acid life in this question. It's like there's no time for you to look anywhere. There is no chance for you to look around and answer. There is no possibility of looking around to figure out where you are. It's just what are you capable to desire? What the fuck are you capable to design in the pure stretch, the pure mathematics of desire? What are you capable to want? What are you capable of wanting? That's the only thing that remains. Not to wish, not to imagine as desirable, but what do you want? It's the only thing that stands. So when you are in front of the terrifying proportion of this gate, which is the question, where are you? This question, where are you?
These lines of
Just to stand in front of this question.
the lines they needed to tame for their new bodies had wings on both sides. These lines had wings on both sides for the dialogue, for the necessary dialogue that could keep them awake, for the necessary continuous dialogue.
It's like whomever you may desire, whatever fucking icon of love you may have, you stand in front of the question of their presence, like the pure substance of such a possibility of a loved one, and you understand the nature of this question, that is, where are you? And then you awaken to the impossibility of love. Thus you understand that you are nowhere. You understand that, like, it's just like the one you love sits there and asks you, where are you? And you understand that you are not awakened to the possibility of being there. You're not yet awakened to the possibility of having a stable position. And thus, it's like the one you love, the one you search for, the one you long for, is there waiting for you, but you have no possibility to be present. You have no possible presence. You are nowhere to be found. You are not yet. You are not fucking yet. You are not yet. So how do you withstand this question thus? Like, how do you withstand such a question when, like, your child or your mother or your father, any fucking one, will ask you, where are you? And you cannot answer. You are not awakened to the nature of this question. You are nowhere. You are not yet. You're just not yet. You're just nowhere to be found. You're just nowhere yet. You are not yet.
It was as if you know if you have ink or not. The line will tell you whether you have ink of joy or not, whether you have the patience for it, whether you have the boiling patience for it or not, whether you have the patience for it or not. The patience, then thick night of patience to allow it to reveal its wisdom. Right here in the white flesh of the very simple place of this moment right now. Allowing it to reveal its echoes, its grounds, all of its grounds.
You stand in front of the gate of this question, that is, where are you? You don't get it. You don't know what the fuck this means. Where are you? The nature of this decision. This is not a mind decision. You cannot look around to figure out where you are. You cannot just grope yourself to see what the fuck am I. So, train in this, train in the acid blood of this unbearable question. Train in the acid bath of this unbearable question that comes from the eyes of anyone you claim to love. Anything you claim to love stands in front of you and asks, where are you? And you cannot answer. You have no mouth. You have no way. You have to tell me clearly what this is. This relates to the monstrous, distorted nature of imagination. Memory that is formed in primitive language. A kind of memory or a definition of identity that is formed in primitive, misguided, misleading function of language. A misleading definition of truth, that is the truth of correspondence, and you fucking stretch your hand again and again into that space, that experiential grounds that give you some kind of notion of the relevance of such words. You just awaken to the heavy responsibility that you have because you can speak such words. Because you know the flesh of history that moves into making such words possible. So,
that place where we spoke of milk. I remember now the need to architect, the milk's need to architect. I remember now structure of fracture. Rupture. Remember that. It was strange how I wanted you. It was strange how I longed for you. It was strange the nature of this desire. It was clear, monumental, architectural. It was clear how I wanted your milk. It was clear my thirst was clear like architecture. My thirst before birth was clear like architecture.
You have one hand there and you have one hand there. So what body makes these hands come together? What kind of fucking animal you need to become to make two hands come together thus? Like, what the fuck? What kind of this... What kind of brutal contrast, what kind of motion of paradox you need to embody so as to achieve some possible integrity. Like you have a hand there and you have a hand there and you have a hand there and you have a hand there, and they are all monstrously different. They are all written in such alien logics. So what do you become to put them all together? What do you become to have a complete, continuous perspective on all of them in unison, like a sort of a body of a symphony? This like outrageous possible adventure. It's so strange that life or the world or the fucking universe doesn't seem to have an implied purpose or an implied direction or an implied necessity. There's something so ferociously misleading in the image we have of nature that seems just like inertially there, just like inertially there, just seems like there in itself. It's just like this distorted definition of inner experience, like misleading definition of inner experience, ferociously naive definition of inner experience. So you just stand in this acid bath of seeing it, just having like a taste of it. And what the fuck do you do? What can you do about it?
It was clear. It's just that there is a patience required to feel the anatomy of desire that is so contrasting in its monstrous associations, monstrous contrast of various textures that come together to form its complex
There is
voice.
like a forest of brutal paradox. There is a, when you step into this friendship, like a sort of fellowship, you step into a forest of mathematics, of paradox. You start to befriend these beasts of paradox. You start to produce some kind of shadow, some kind of like seeming presence, like to mimic some sort of presence there, like to insinuate yourself into such a domain. And you understand to produce a destiny in such a domain is like to withstand the cycle of death and rebirth as breathing, like the mechanics of a possible destiny, like a sentence achieved, like just a sentence that can be recognized as relevant, has to go through this cycle. Otherwise you're just in some fucking inertial state. That's like just, you're just in the realm of irrelevant. You're just like enjoying the ecstasy of ignorance, like the distortion of inner life. Like you want to believe that there is some place to hide. Like you want to believe that there is some place to hide in this, under the blanket of ignorance. You think there is some fucking place to hide in your primordial substance of ecstasy. You want to believe that ecstasy is some sort of ocean, as if God were some kind of animal. What do you mean?
When one has their friends with them, when you have your friends with them, you cannot be mistaken. You have the choirs of presence with you, thus you walk the line. You walk the clear line, and there is no confusion, there is no doubt. When you have all of your friends with you, there is no doubt, there is no confusion. The eyes are clear in their specific shape, their specific direction. When the beauty is boiling, the place where your friends are with you, the beauty is boiling, thus the resonance of voice is clear. The consensus, the choirs of consensus. The choirs of consensus. When a place boils with beauty, that is the sign of consensus. When a place boils with beauty, that is the unmistakable sign of consensus. When a place boils with beauty, you are welcomed into clarity. You have all of them together with you. We walk thus in the long nights. We walk together in these long nights of weaving your body with clear verse, clear lines of vision, weaving your body in. Prayers hidden in the land, all the prayers hidden in the land, all the prayers hidden in the land. Yes, yes, here underneath, here underneath, yes. The repetition there is. When your bones are thus fully erect in prayer, when your bones are transparent with prayer, when your bones are liquefied into their one direction of prayer, then their strength is revealed by the consensus of all prayers in time and space. When your bones find direction of boiling longing, thus friendship is touched on. Friendship that spans through time and space, friendship of function, that we have been born here to point into the impossible direction. Oh God, all achieved prayers, all achieved bones of prayer in history. Understand your friends thus. All attained directions of prayer in history form a single body, form this body that you stand in.
I want to say when you can step into this architecture, when you step onto that ground, in that environment, you would say something like, truth as correspondence. You would stretch your hand to feel where your friends are that can speak thus. You would stretch your body of flexible presence of mind so as to taste what it is. What is it? What is it? And you move with the fucking flesh of whatever is relevant as enticing possibility in your space of will. And then you come back into just withstand such a destiny. Just withstand such a destiny and start to enjoy it. it's like you have a destiny of a paradox. It's like you need to act in paradoxical ways, like you observe the behavior of the sentences of will that are yours. You just start to recognize them. Like you can see it, you just can see it.
We walked further. We walked further. Our steps desired slope, ascent. We walked further, and so our steps kind of decided the angle of the land. It was as if we were training gravity. It was as if we were training the geography of time. Into ascension. It was as if our steps were shaping the geography of time into ascension. We spoke in weathers of elegance there. We spoke in landscapes of presence. There, the speech was pure presence. There where we rested our steps in the very possibility of that. The slope, the angle of that slope. Where we went to saculegium, acolo unde ne-am dus să culegem plante sălbatice. Acolo unde ne-am dus să culegem plante sălbatice. acolo unde chiar aveam nevoie de parfumuri noi ale prezenței. Parfumuri noi ale prezenței. Acolo unde aveam nevoie de parfumuri noi ale prezenței. Acolo unde aveam nevoie de parfumuri noi ale prezenței. Acolo unde aveam nevoie de parfumuri noi ale prezenței.
Okay. You place your hand onto the skull of that mountain. Kindly place your hand onto the skull of that mountain to feel its temperature, like it's boiling, like it's stretch your hand into that boiling mercury of sight. You want to taste what friendship is in this domain, then you need to stretch your hand, place it into that boiling mercury and like produce some form of memory of it. You just produce any kind of desperate sign, any kind of desperate scream that would function as some kind of reminder somewhere, some kind of desperate noise, whatever you can do. When you touch on that, and then the other hand, you grope the configuration of what seems to be real, the configuration of what is groped as believable. Like you grope this architecture of what seems probable, what seems reasonable in this case. You kind of move into the chamber of this playground. You like feel the echoes of what seems possible in this case, what seems probable. Like today there are certain things probable here. La source. It's probable that I will go to the kitchen. It's probable that I will survive. It's probable that there are some fucking foxes in the forest. It's improbable that I will go to Brest. It's improbable that I will speak something clear. There's just some kind of desperate discipline of elegance, like the elegance of this reduction that you long for when you don't need to imagine it anymore. You just step onto this ground. You just step clear onto this ground.
So the question of a line is, what does it follow? The question of a line will be, what is it able to follow? To stay awake in its purity. What will it follow? There is the heavy gift of perception. The heavy gift of perception, the hard to manage gift, the heavy gift. Of an almighty hand, this heavy gift.
It's like you do not need to trust any inner or outer perception. You just need to trust the mathematics of a vow, that is, all that is in the perspective of all is real. Just what is spoken in the perspective of all is real. All that is decided in come on, man. Come on, what the fuck? It's just such an intoxicating possibility, like the possibility of friendship. It's just such an intoxicating mathematics, the possibility of integrity, just some kind of taste of truth. What do you mean? If one could just have these two hands, if one can activate these two hands, that is a continuous fucking dialogue. And that is the very nature of Wittgenstein telling Turing about the distinction between formal and experiential sentences. If one can enter this discernment between these two hands, there is a hand of like imagination that travels through what seems to be defined as real in some objective, conventional manner.
I understand that I search for your face and I am clumsy in how I desire your proportion.
And then one can travel in the
I'm clumsy in how I desire the meaning.
capacity of symbolic decision,
Stature.
the capacity of symbolic freedom or logical freedom.
It's as if
What do you mean?
I wanted some kind of
It's like I can say, I remember going to the park with her. I have a clear image of that. There was a sort of a stone armchair with a cat on it. There was a sculpture of a stone armchair.
it was as
with a
if
cat
I
on it.
was not yet able to understand this symphony of meanings, symphony of space. It was as if I was not able to understand how this art functions, how this art works. The symphonies of all possibilities that will gather together into forming your form, forming your
Yes, I'm sure.
body. It was as if I was not yet awakened into this craft. Crafting your body through symphonies of experience. This is what I was not yet able to stand in. And now I longed for you thus.
If I say I love you, is that based on experience? That is the question. If I say I love you, is that
This is how I longed.
an experiential question? Is that an experiential sentence? What is the certainty related to that? Like, how do you know it yourself?
I place the meeting ground thus so that our celebration will be full, so that
There's something here. It's like something terrifying here. If
the
I say
celebration of our meeting will be
I have
complete.
toothache, or is that an
Understood.
experiential sentence?
Do you understand? Do you understand this kind, wise imprecision of Do you understand the nature of this caress? caressing of the dialogue, this strangely imprecise caressing of your body that happens in dialogue, this strangely imprecise, apparently imprecise way of searching for you. This apparent hide and seek. This paradoxical hide and seek. I can feel your caresses thus. In this advanced imprecision. It is the very dialogue. Just because we have stepped into the patience of just because we have trained one another into this audience, the possibility of this audience, just because we have trained one another in this direction. Just because we have trained one another in this direction, we have dared to train one another in this direction. Just because we have dared to unite lightning with marrow, just because we have dared to unite lightning with marrow. Your white flesh was so generous that all hands were now showing their voice. Your white flesh was so generous in the milk of the fog. Your white flesh was so generous that it could reveal the voice of each impulse, each tendency. The very diamond we searched for, this very diamond we searched for. This diamond mind we searched for. This diamond